Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for joining me back here at Paid to Trade. This is Zeke, the Trading Geek, and today I'll be going over the first video of the series of different prop firms that I'll be reviewing. Today is TopStep. And so in this video, we're going to cover things like the rules, pricing, payouts, time required for the evaluation phase, different assets you can trade, platforms you can use, and the customer service. All right. And again, all this is focused around TopStep. All right. So to go ahead and kind of get right into it, we're going to go ahead and go over their plans. All right. So the plans, as you can see, they have a 50K, 100K, and 150K. And everything else is pretty self-explanatory as far as what's the cost, and then the limits and requirements for each one. So the cheapest is 165 a month. Your profit target is 3,000. Your maximum position size is 5 contracts. Now here's where they vary compared to some other trading firms. Now they say 5 contracts. They literally mean a maximum of 5. Other companies, if they give you a number like this, they're referring to minis. And then if you wanted to trade micros, which are like a smaller asset class, they have a smaller value. They allow you to trade more of those. So you can trade more micros versus minis. So in most cases, I would say other companies let you trade about 10 micros per each mini. So in other cases, they might say if you were trading all micros, it'd be 50 total contracts. But in this case, whether you're trading micros or minis or you're trading both of them, you can have no more than 5 total contracts out at once. And that's it. So as far as the daily loss limit, you can lose up to $1,000, and that's per day. And then you have a trailing max drawdown. So this is the total amount that you're allowed to lose for this account. And so a trailing max drawdown, what that does is it basically follows your starting balance, and then as the day ends and you've increased your profits, so let's say you go up 1,000 at the end of the day, well, if your trailing max drawdown initially starts at 48,000, which is 2,000 less than this, at the end of the day it scoots up by that 1,000. So if you're at 51,000 total balance, that means that your trailing drawdown as the start of the next day would be 49,000. It's always lagging 2,000 behind at the end of the day. All right. So as far as how it works, let's go over that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just hop right into the rules. All right. So let's go ahead and get over to the rules for TopStep. And so basically they break it down into a few different phases. You have phase 1, phase 2, and then you're on to phase 3. Phase 1, you prove your profitability. Phase 2, you show that you can manage risk. Phase 3, you're actually in some type of a funded account. You've passed the trading combine or the evaluation phases. All right. So everything's broken down here. So for step 1, they have the first rule being your products that you can trade and when you can trade. All right. So as far as when you can trade, all your orders need to be closed by 3:10 Central. So that's 10 minutes after the main market closes. But futures continues to trade for another 50 minutes. It closes at 4 p.m. Central, and then it reopens at 5. So after 5 p.m. Central, you can get back into another trade. All right. And then as far as what you can trade, here's the list of all the different products you can trade. So this is where I think they excel. A lot of companies offer all these different things that you can trade. So you can really get into the different commodities or Forex, all the indices, all the micros, and then they even let you trade interest rates. So that's, if you're into that, that's good. But I want to say the most popular things to trade are the indices. Most people trade the Russell, the NASDAQ, or the S&P. That's usually what you find. But this gives you options. Okay, and so nothing really changes for step 2. That's all the same. Maximum position size. So this is um, how many contracts you can trade. So in step one, let's say if we go back to uh, this account here, so the 50K account, so you can trade a maximum of 5 contracts, all right, in step one. But in step two, it's not the same. So in step two, you actually um, have a scaling plan. Okay, so here's your scaling plan. So if you're in step two, you have to follow this here. All right. If your balance is under 51.5, you can only trade 2 lots. That's 2 contracts. If your balance is between 51.5 and 52, you can trade 3 lots. Over 52,000, you can trade 5 lots. All right. But that's in step two. And then the same thing is going to go for once you achieve funded. So once you're funded, it would be the same. As far as the daily loss limit, this here is the same in either case. Um, Whatever it's stated that you can lose per day is it. So in this 50K account, it's $1,000, and then whatever the other ones are, it's according to that. Trailing max drawdown. So in step one, the trailing max drawdown is um, based on your end of day balance. Okay, so if you um, if you make like $1,000 in profit, your trailing max drawdown isn't affected until the end of day. In fact, it's the same for phase one and phase two, as far as that's concerned. And then you have your minimum trading days. So for step one, you do have a minimum required. Um, Now, here's where it's kind of, they're not being totally honest with you here, because they're for sure saying that they want you to trade a minimum of 5 days for step one. Okay, so let's say you've gone through everything for step one, you've hit your profit target, now you're in step two. Step two says no minimum trading days, but it's not true, because if you look at the consistency target, it tells you right here that no single trading day can account for more than 40% of your profit target. So if you hit your profit target in one day, do they let you pass? No, because 100% of your profit target would have been achieved in one day. So if you hit your profit target, if you do half and half, in 2 days, will that work? No, because then it's 50% of your profit targets in each day. So the only way that this is going to work is if you trade for at least 3 days. With 3 days of trading, then you can see how you can have it under those amounts. So, but not one of those days can be over 40% or 40% or higher. So yeah, you have to trade for at least 3 days. So it says no minimum trading days, but that's not very truthful. And for that, these guys get a red check mark there, buddy. Not cool. So scaling plan. Step one, you can trade full lot size. Step two, we kind of talked about that earlier as far as the maximum position size. You have to follow the scaling plan. So in step two, based on your balance in the account, you have to wait until the next day for that balance to be acknowledged and your scaling plan or your a lot size be adjusted. So if you made $2,000 the first day, you can't automatically start trading at the allotted amount for that $2,000 range. Instead, you have to wait until day two, and then once you've shown that the balance is there, then you can trade whatever lot size is available at that particular balance. The consistency target, we went over that already. So you have to show that you're consistent. No one single day can be over 40% of your profit target. So they have a lot of rules. Other companies are not as complicated. But there's some good to this, I suppose. But it is what it is. So as far as payouts, so we went over the rules, we went over the pricing. Let's go over payouts real quick. All right. So they're just telling you, what to consider when you're taking out money. As long as you hit a certain minimum amount, you can go ahead and pay yourself. And it doesn't look like there's any minimum days required to have traded before you can request. Before it used to be 5 days, but looking through here real quickly, I don't see that unless it's hidden in here somewhere that it's 5 days. But that's that. Um, Now, as far as payouts, they say you keep your first 5,000. So that's kind of nice. And you get to keep 100% of the first 5,000 that you earn. After that, then it's a 90-10 split. And that's also a very good split. So you get to keep 90% of everything that you make after your initial 5,000. The payouts are supposed to be processed quickly. And what's nice is you don't have to wait until a certain day as far as payouts are concerned. With other companies, you do have to wait until like a certain time of the month, or you can only request a payout after X amount of days. So it's a little bit less rules when that's concerned here. But there still might be that clause where you have to wait at least 5 trading days in between payouts with TopStep. Other companies don't even have that. One step, funded traders. It says funded traders only do our full evaluation once. Now, be mindful of the word full here. Okay, they're tricky with their words. So what this means is once you've completed step 1, you've completed step 2, you've passed, and then you're in the funded phase. If you break a rule as a funded trader, instead of going back all the way to step 1, you only go back to step 2 and then prove yourself in step 2, and then you go back into funded. But you can only do that once. You can only do that once. So if you break a rule in funded one time, your first time, you go to phase 2 again and you redo that, and then you're back into funded. Well, if you break a rule again in funded and lose your account a second time, you will start all over again in phase 1 or step 1. So be mindful of that. All right. And then that's basically it. As far as the trading platforms, they do offer these here that they promote. And if there's other platforms that you'd prefer to use, you can request them. I don't know the limits when it comes to that, as far as what they absolutely don't have available. These are the 3 main, and then as you can see here, these are other ones that you can definitely use. Um, so it gives you a lot of flexibility. I'd say one of the most popular ones is going to be NinjaTrader. The TopStepTrader platform is not bad. That's pretty good. But NinjaTrader actually has a mobile version now, as well as what they have on their computer, or what you can put on your computer. Um, I kind of like NinjaTrader, but it's not for everybody. I've heard a lot of people starting to use Quant Tower, and Quant Tower has some interesting features. Now, TopStep just started doing something new where they allow you to trade multiple accounts at once, which is nice. So you can use a trade copier and you can trade multiple accounts at the same time. So let's say you're making on average $300 a day in an account. Well, if you have 3 accounts, they're all funded, you can be copying the same exact trade at the same time into those other accounts. So then you're making $300 per day in each account. So every time you take a trade, it's just automatically duplicated in these other accounts, and now you're scaling up your profit, which is really nice, without taking on the extra risk. You don't have to worry about exposing yourself to too much in each account. So you can still keep your trade small, trade a small amount of contracts, um, but still achieve more profit across all your accounts. Now, NinjaTrader doesn't include a copier for free, but Quant Tower, I want to say, does. NinjaTrader, there's one that you can buy that'll help you with that. And so I've actually picked that one up, and I do like it, but it's not perfect. I've heard a little bit about the Quant Tower. I haven't tried it yet, but I've also heard that it's there's definitely pros and cons to it. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the ones that I have for NinjaTrader. I don't know that they've come out with one for TS-Trader yet on Trade08. I don't think so. But what's nice is Trade08 now that links with TradingView, and so as far as like charting, if you're into charting, which most likely you are if you're trading futures, you're going to set up. You can set up all your charts in TradingView, and then once you see all like your areas that you would want to buy or sell, your software is linked with that, so you can place trades right in TradingView, which is really nice. So that's that. So as far as customer service, I can speak from personal experience that the customer service with TopStep is actually pretty good. If you send out a request, they're usually really fast in getting back to you, and they're pretty fair, especially if their services are botched for some reason. Let's say they're having some technical issues, which most companies do at some point. They're usually pretty good about holding up their end and honoring whatever was wrong, however the system had wronged you. So there was times where I was in a trade and something malfunctioned in the system and it wiped my account. Well, they could see that. They could see the glitch, and they were mindful of things that were happening on their end, on their servers, and they were able to fix that for me. So that I appreciate. And they didn't give me a hard time. It wasn't a struggle. So that's something, that's something worth saying and something worth keeping in mind too, because you do want a company that's going to be there for you and provide good customer service. So that's basically it. I hope that kind of gives you some kind of insight and tells you kind of what to expect and what to look for as far as TopStep. I'm not sure if you feel this is like too many rules or not, but it's worth you checking out some of the other prop firms before you marry one, before you sign on, because there's a lot of options. And so there's way more than what I'm going to be covering over the next few videos. But I think the few that I've collected and gone over, I think they're definitely worth looking at. And between the few that I'm going to go over, I think you'll find one that you really do like. So please go ahead and post your comments and questions in the section below. And then I'll provide a link down below too if you decide that you want to go through this. If you want to use TopStep, go ahead and click on the link and you can go ahead and get signed up with a trading combine. Well, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.